this moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Welcome back to session 4 with the Dr. Oni Poe.
Yes,
How
you
you
said
doing?
it exactly right.
Yes, that word. When you said I'm the only, I said that's it. The only, the
Yes.
absolute only Poe. How you doing, Dr. Poe?
I'm feeling very good.
Okay, well, Young People Nation, my husband and I, we are grateful for you to be on this platform. We're honored. We'd like to thank God, first of all,
Yeah.
who makes all this happen.
Yes.
And we'd like to thank our community. We have a huge support system, and we're grateful. We are so grateful for the support system.
Awesome.
Thank you all so much. And for those that did not listen to Dr. Poe or the introduction about her, we're just going to give you a tad bit because that resume is long, okay? And Dr. Poe herself, she is huge in the mental health community. She's a huge advocate for the disabled. She was in the school system for 16 years. She's a specialist with the uniquely empathetic. What's that word? Okay. She is uniquely empathetic. She's passionate. I've only heard passion when I sit down and talk with her. And she has she's the founder of Filling in the Gaps, an organization committed to providing education, advocacy, and support for those grappling with mental health challenges and disabilities. And how do they get in contact with you if they want to connect with this?
They can reach out to me through social media, Dr. Oni Poe, also on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram.
Okay. Did y'all get that? Okay, because you better connect with her now, because God is taking her some places, okay? So she's the author of children's books. She has such a passion for young people. And she has her insightful channel, In the Flow, with Dr. O. It's unrehearsed, unscripted. I've been on that. That's your Facebook thing,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. Dialogue on critical issues, because we need to talk about things.
Right.
And when we talk about it, and we talk about it as a community, we can come up with some results.
Absolutely.
To help. Okay. So in session 4, we're going to be talking about the community of the youth and mental health.
Oh, my favorite topic.
Now, my husband has expressed that it is growing. I want to share this. We have heard 3. I've heard 3 personally within less than a month of young men killing themselves. Now, these young men appear to be right. Appear to be successful and on the rise and smiling and like they're enjoying life, but then you get a text message or you see on the social media, you're going to be missed.
Hidden pain.
Yes.
Hidden pain. Wow.
Let's talk about that. Unpack that. Hidden pain.
Ooh.
Hidden pain is that part of your life that you are hurting when nobody's looking. Where everybody's looking, you have a smile on your face. You have the twinkle in your eye that everything is all right, but you're embarrassed. You are in need. You are hurting, but you don't know how to call for help. And we in society should not wait until you have a tragedy to find out what you could have done.
Right.
Because it's right there before you. And you don't take time out of your busy schedule to say, hey, brother, sister, can I be of help? I'm here for you. Maybe it's a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it's a dinner to take you to. But that person that doesn't show up, doesn't come out, is always kind of silent and withdrawn. They need you,
They do.
and you see them every day. But what's wrong with you is you too caught up in your world to trying to do the Beyonce dance, or you trying to do other things with this fashion, and it's all about me. No, it's not about you. It's what you can do for others. And I tell you, one of the best feelings that you can have is to meet the need of your fellow person, because it can be man or woman. Meet that need in their life. It's nothing more fulfilling than to help your fellow man or woman.
That's so true, Mr. Perry. That hidden pain is something.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
You know, just to hear you talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
I was imagining while you were speaking, like, why do we hide pain
Right.
in the first place? Like, what makes us not bear our pain nakedly?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first started speaking openly, I started a page in 2018 called Confessions of a Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And my nickname is Lady, given the day I was born.
Yeah.
So my family, that's a family name.
Right.
Okay.
So the title of that was like my confessions, in other words.
Right.
And I started like typing on my Facebook page the thoughts that I would think, and I would say, clearly somebody else must be thinking this too, but nobody else is saying it, right? And that evolved to me really publicly sharing my mental health journey. And I remember when I first started, I would get comments like, well, why you putting all that on Facebook? You know, when nobody need to know about your depression. You know, and if you go through that, you know, you shouldn't say it out loud. But fast forward all these years later, the number of people who I know who have told me how me bearing my pain
Yes.
in
Right.
the open
Yes.
and displaying my pain
Yes.
has helped them own and recognize and get treatment for their own pain.
Yes.
You know, because that hidden pain is something else. And a
Yes.
lot of people never get the outlet to express. Like,
Yes.
you know, I don't know the 3 people that you're referring to, but the number of suicides in our society is extremely high. One
Yes.
person taking their life is too many.
Yes.
You know, and so I often think, what could have been said? What could have been done? What did we miss?
But the thing is this right here. It is so hard to live.
It is.
It takes effort to live. You gotta want to live. And once you come to the part that you're willing to put that effort in, it's all the do's and don'ts that come with it.
Yes.
It's everybody trying to paint that little rosy picture that life is so good. But in society, everyone don't have that food. Everyone don't have the money. Everyone don't have the basic needs to live. And you got to take time out your busy schedule to just acknowledge that they exist. Because we pass by them every day. The person sleeping on the street, the person that nobody speaks to, or the person that you took for granted that always in the back working long hours to make everything right, but in their own little personal world, they're going through hell.
Yes.
And you never take time out to say, you know, you are great.
Right.
I really appreciate you. When the last time you sent them some flowers, or invited them to lunch, or let them know they exist?
Yes. You know, we learned a lot, and we've said this over our previous recording. Our oldest daughter came to us when she was 14
Okay.
and was suicidal.
Okay.
That was a huge wake up for us, because you're like, to my husband's point, he was in the military, I'm working, we're busy in church, we're all over the place, you know. But she, even though my husband very present in there, but for herself, it was her self-esteem
Right.
about herself. And when she came to me, I was in the kitchen cooking, and we were stationed in Hawaii, and she came and she gave me, told me what happened. I stopped cooking, I cut the stove off. I was like, what happened? Wait, what? What? So from that point forward, start paying more attention. You understand? Because my husband shared his journey, okay? So, you know, generational mental health and things that's happening, okay? because he shared with me his journey. So we have a daughter. So we have to pay attention to these little snippets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And kids in school can be so cruel because let's call you a little darker or skinny. They make fun of you.
Right.
And the kids are like, their self-esteem is shot. If they don't get it from home, if they don't get it from home, they get it from anywhere. And sometimes it's very negative. And when it's negative like that, the devil will make sure you go other places.
That's so
and
true.
and those places sometimes you can't return from.
That is so true. Boy, when I hear you talk about the generational aspect, I'm thinking back last night. I had dinner with my mother and my daughter.
Okay.
And I talked early on one of the sessions about my mom's past journey with substance use.
Yes.
And so what I recognize now is that substance use that it's a disease, like substance, just using substances to cope. But what we didn't talk about, what they didn't talk about in her younger days was anxiety and depression and how to treat what's going on mentally.
Yes.
So I watched her suffer, and then when I started having my own challenges, I didn't recognize them immediately as anxiety and depression or mental health, a mental health diagnosis.
Yes.
But then when my daughter started showing signs, it made me own what I wanted to ignore within myself.
Yes.
Because I'd be dogged if I let my daughter suffer and I can do something about it.
Yes.
Right.
But I didn't realize how much I was suffering.
Yes.
And then when I understood my own suffering, it allowed me to understand my mom's suffering in a way that I didn't when I was a child. Like I can understand now as an adult that she didn't just want to use crack.
Yeah.
She was introduced to it, and then it provided something, and it took her away from the pain that she was experiencing. And then she was hooked.
Yes.
And a lot of times we don't talk about these type of things.
Right.
And it leads to like a suicidal note. That's a cry for help. Thank God that, your daughter was able to come and say,
Yes.
Mama, I'm hurting.
Yes.
Because we don't know how long she was carrying that hurt.
Exactly.
But just imagine if you wouldn't have stopped cooking that day, and if you wouldn't have tuned in, all kind of things could have happened. And a lot of children don't have that one person that they can go to and say, I'm hurting. And so they have that hidden pain that you talked about.
And and so even her as a adult, she's a divorced single parent.
Okay.
However,
That's another story.
I pay attention. I pay attention to both of my daughters, and I really pray and I ask God for wisdom on how to navigate, because they're not 14 anymore. She's 38.
Got you.
And another one is 34. So I'm, like I share with my husband, I'm learning my place in their life. I am their mother. However, we have placements and timing in a person's life.
Right.
And so, like what you said, generational. And then it sounds like it helped you understand and not be mad with your mom.
Absolutely.
And said, well, dog, she didn't have a platform that she could express herself. I do. And now I'm looking at my daughter.
Right.
Oh no, this is not going to be a repeat.
Right.
This is it.
We're going to talk about it. And I remember I was a part of a project called Restoring Dignity through an organization called Compassion in Atlanta, and it was myself and several other women. We told a story about stigma in faith spaces, and my aspect of that was talking about my mental health journey. And I shared about my mom's substance abuse, and I shared about like I see the question here, you talked about the truth, what is known by everybody and nobody want to talk about it, and we don't have time to get into it, but a lot of my mom's struggles was centered in the fact that she was molested as a child. And so she carried that.
Yes.
And she didn't have anybody to talk about it to, and then that I won't say it led to her addiction, but that unresolved unhealed trauma, it leads you to, trying to figure out a way to cope.
Yes.
And then she just spiraled. But we took the play, the Restoring Your Dignity project, it was a play, and we took it back to my hometown. And I was on a stage at a local church, not the church I grew up in, and I was sharing my story. And one part about it is talking about when I went here in Augusta to try to get my mom help. I'm gonna tell the story real fast for the sake of time, but it was a private institution, a private treatment center, and I took my mom for an intake. And the intake coordinator came and told me that they had found my mom a bed. and it was in Alabama. But because my mom didn't have insurance or resources, I would have to be financially responsible for the bill. And that it shook me back, and I was like, oh my God. And I was thinking, like, my mom has been in treatment so many times before, she needs help, but I don't know if I can financially commit to this. I had just gotten married. It was a whole bunch of things going on. So I told the lady to let me go outside and think about it. And as soon as I walked out the door, there was a lady who was either coming in, and she looked at me and she was like, don't I know you from somewhere? I knew immediately where I knew that lady from. And it was from, we served on a coalition together. But here I am at this place to get help from my mom, who's addicted to crack cocaine. I almost lied.
Okay.
But I stand on the truth, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm thinking, like, I'm known in this coalition as, I look like I got it all going on. I ain't telling nobody my mom is addicted to crack. That's a different side of the coin to my story that I hadn't really been saying.
Yes.
But I told the lady the truth. I was like, yeah, I know you. Told her where, she knew me from. And she said, well, what you doing here? And I said, I'm trying to get my mom some help. And they found her a bed in Alabama, but they need me to be financially responsible for it, and I don't know if I can do it. And that lady said, give me a minute. Wait right here. She was like, let me go make a call. She came back less than 5 minutes later and said they got a bed for her at Hope House.
Praise God.
You don't have to pay a dime.
Amen.
And I say that to say, generationally, people are hurting. But once we start telling the truth and articulating the truth and standing on our truth, then healing can begin there. And just the timing. It's so much I could say about that, but the timing of me saying, let me go think about it, because I knew I didn't want to be financially responsible. And that woman, it wasn't just a coincidence that she happened to be there. I don't believe in coincidences. But I shared that as part of this Restoring Dignity play. And when we took it home and I was sharing that part of this, I shared my play on stage. My mom she's not soft-spoken, but she doesn't speak a lot. But she stood up that day from the audience and thanked me. She thanked me.
I know them tears flow.
Oh my gosh. I got chills now when I think about it. I didn't cry immediately in that moment because I was so overwhelmed with just the emotion of sharing a story and the stories of the other ladies who were on the stage with me. Theirs all wasn't in that same aspect of mental health and drug addiction and all of that stuff. But my mom thanked me for being a voice. And I thought for years that's something that the family who knew about it, if they knew about it, had covered. And there's so many families that are covering that sort of thing. But once you uncover, and once you use your voice to speak the truth, then healing can begin. But as long as it's covered and hidden pain, like you talked about.
Preach it.
That hidden pain, once it stays covered, we can't heal. And that pain is passed on from generation to generation to generation. Let me tell you, I don't want to pass it on. I want to talk about it.
And we about to close, but also it's not a demon. This is something that happened to this person, and this is a trauma. And so they don't need a tutorial on forgiveness.
Or to be next week's sermon.
They don't need that. It's like you're saying, you got to face the truth that uncle or whoever so and so violated me. Okay, this is my process. Okay, and we don't get to tell a person how to process. That's between God and them.
Exactly.
Wow. So, Dr. Poe, give us some ending wisdom and it's not ending because we're definitely going to get back together. Give us some wisdom for our youth, for the community when it comes to our youth, those that's diagnosed with a disability, and the caretakers.
Okay. What I could say is to open your eyes and see what's in front of you, not what you want to believe is there, not what you hope to believe is there, but look at what you see and address that, whether that's in caring for a person with a disability, whether that's in caring for yourself if you're not well, whatever it is, use the sight that you have and the vision that God has given you to navigate your next step. I also would like to say, live your truth out loud and live with the truth. If you need help, get help. If you don't know how to articulate the help that you need, then just start speaking about what you think would make you feel better, right? If it's a parent with a child with a disability, be their biggest advocate. Be their biggest advocate. Be their biggest advocate. Nobody is going to give you what you don't ask for. You cannot have the expectation that somebody else has your best interest in mind for your child because they don't. You know, a lot of systems about numbers and they're about a bottom line approach, but my child is never the bottom line. My child is the top line. And I feel like all parents should lead with that perspective. As it relates to mental health, if you have your own challenges, don't hide. Don't hide. We all deserve to be well. And we all deserve to feel well. And you don't have to be ashamed. You know, there's so much stigma. But if the more of us start talking about what's going on, we can eradicate that stigma. And we can lead to healthier generations and generations that are not crippled by the shame that comes along with mental health challenges and disabilities.
Wow. That is a lot. And I hope, go back and listen to these recordings. There's a lot of nuggets in these recordings. Thank you, Dr. Poe.
You're welcome.
And while you're traveling on the train or in the plane, however God has got you going, we're going to hook up again.
All right.
Okay? All right, because this has been amazing. And thank you for sharing your stories on social media, because when I read what you talked about about the community, I was like, she's it. That's it right there. Right there. Let me get with her. But
it's all about connection.
Yes, it is. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. This is a forever connection.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we like to give out the mental health hotlines, of course, again, because we've been talking about mental health. That's our platform. There's the 988 hotline. There's the text 741-741. That's free 24/7 services. There's the NAMI, that's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and you can go to their website and reach out to the state you live in to get the proper help. Also, you can call 211 for general community resources. That's a 24/7 service. And of course, if nothing else, call 911. Please do not sit there and suffer in silence. Mr. Perry.
Take time out instead of going to the club or and shaking your booty and then doing all that. Take time out to feed the homeless or to be that advocate in a disabled person's life. We are all attracted to light. It can be dark light or holy light. So choose life. This has been Young People Nation, and remember, there's always hope.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know His word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the #1 prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the Savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what He gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by His love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.